Guys, I decided to take on watching Trump: An American Dream on Netflix. And boy, did it feel like peeling back the layers of Donald Trump and his rise to power. It's something that should be studied in a master class because we want to know what the driving force is behind his success. Is it strictly just a Nepo baby situation? Or is it really that Donald Trump just understands the world of business? And I truly believe it's a combination of both. But let's just dissect this series that's on Netflix because I think it's something a lot of people are missing out on if they haven't watched it already. So who was Fred Trump? Fred Trump is Donald's father, and he was already a wealthy real estate developer in Queens and Brooklyn. It wasn't until Donald Trump decided to take the reins of his father's position and start really looking for ambitious ventures like Manhattan. This series, Trump was ambitious, even though he himself in the interview said he didn't like the word ambitious. So he hires an ex-NYPD officer who's a black man. You know, people like to say Trump is racist, but then again, why would he hire a African-American to be his bodyguard, to be his, protector? And he ends up marrying Ivana Trump, who is a model at this time. So he's on the fast track to success. But we all have to ask the question, would he have been on the fast track to success, being able to hire a bodyguard and all of this stuff without the help of having his dad, Fred Trump, his infamous lawyer, Roy Cohn, who, if you haven't seen the new Netflix docuseries where they play Trump out and his whole role of, how he was with Roy, that dynamic in itself should let people know that Trump had close and intimate connections with people probably in the mob, tightly connected. His father, Fred Trump, had very close relationships with people in politics. He was friends with the mayor at the time. So Bean, I can't remember the guy's first name, but he was friends with these people. So of course they were going to have some sort of advantage. I say this because a lot of people would say, oh, well then if he was close to these type of people, was he doing criminal activities? I think his proximity to that world added intrigue to this story because do we know that Trump didn't do anything crazy? We don't. We really don't know. One thing Trump mastered early on was the media. He used the press to build his image, positioning himself as a charismatic, affable figure. People like socialite Nikki Haskell, who's still pretty active on TikTok, as a matter of fact, admired him for his charm and connections. Trump's ability to network with the wealthy wasn't accidental. It was strategic. Let's take Trump Tower, for example. It wasn't that it was a luxury building. It was a statement. By pricing out the middle class and catering exclusively to the ultra-rich, Trump created an elite community that fed his ambitions.
Trump Tower, the centerpiece of the Trump empire. Put the most expensive apartments, shops, and office space in Manhattan.
This is his kryptonite buckle.
Priced at a mere £500, its sales are meteoric. Silver dog or cat bowls with gold-plated interiors, a £1,300 price tag.
Tower, he's got jewel-encrusted gold taxi whistles for Mother's Day. Buy two and you and Mom can play dueling taxi whistles all day Sunday for only $8,000.
This gold and crystal model of Manhattan at £170,000.
Again, and I urge this to people, this isn't about just making money. This is about proximity to wealth and power. And for Trump, that was everything, and that is still everything. Here's a lesson: when the economy is in a slump, opportunities arise. Trump understood this as well. During times of financial despair, buildings went into foreclosure and people were desperate for deals. If you have capital, like somebody like a Donald Trump, you would strike it rich. But Trump didn't just take advantage of the downturn to amass wealth. He used it to create a brand of exclusivity, a space where only the rich and influential could afford to be. The thing that was extremely clear to me watching this first episode of this first series, Trump: An American Dream, is that he had a cocky confidence. Donald Trump truly believed that he deserved success. And in many, many ways, that belief is what propelled him forward. Now, he did go to military boarding school, and I think that likely instilled a sense of discipline and strategy. And that shaped his approach to business and to life. Now, the Wollman Rink is a perfect example of this. The city fumbled the renovation for 7 years, But Trump then swooped in and completed it in record time and made sure everyone knew about it. Publicity. Was it really about the skating rink? No, it was about the publicity that he got from it. Trump is notorious at understanding these opportunities and how he could tie his name to this to garner publicity for himself. He wanted to leverage this reputation of being a person that was skilled at getting the job done. And I think today, if you fast forward 2024, we still see that same attitude of arrogance of, you guys are taking too long. You don't know how to get things done. You're inefficient and I can get it done. That is synonymous with the Trump brand. So I think for me, watching this series, I'm going to continue watching it and giving more feedback on Donald Trump and who this man is as a person. Because many of us wish we could just be in a little bit of his circle to know what he's really truly like. Because hanging around with seedy figures like Roy Cohn, who some people said was like a walking version of Satan. The man was just that intimidating. I think it raised a lot of questions, like why did Roy Cohn, with all of his connections and influence, take such a liking to Trump? I thought that this Netflix show also highlighted the imbalance of power in cities like New York. Big cities, the rich usually benefits from things like tax abatements and government incentives, while the poor are left with crumbling infrastructure and broken promises. Trump's story is a reflection of that imbalance, a man who knew how to work the system to his advantage, even as others struggled to get by.
To have the world's tallest letter that I had written to Donald Trump. In the letter, I told Mr. Trump that I would not be granting him the tax exemptions that he desired. The letter aroused Mr. Trump's ire.
We have a gentleman in New York who's very disloyal. Every time...
You're talking about the mayor of New York, aren't you?
Well, I'm talking about the mayor of New York, yes.
And here's a thought. What if more rich people thought like Trump when it comes to improving their surroundings? He truly believed that everyone did deserve clean, beautiful spaces to live in. I think to this day, he still sees it as, New York is turning into a bit of a shithole, his own words when he talks about countries being a shithole. I think he has this real sense of, I need to improve my community, but I think it's not necessarily just because he cares about people, but it's an incentive for him. Because just think about your own value, right? In your neighborhood, you buy a home in a neighborhood and your neighbors don't take care of everything. Everything's dilapidated and falling apart. That's going to destroy the value of your own property. So I care more so about my business and ensuring that the value of my business is at a higher value because of the city that I'm in. Artie Nussbaum played a key role in building Wollman Rink, but the headlines were all Trump.
Trump did it, not in 2 years, not even in the 6 months he had estimated. Nope, Trump has finished it 2 months early and under budget.
He didn't finish it in 4. We finished it in 4. We're like the Marines. And we get there and we do it.
It's a testament to the unmatched ability to command the spotlight, turning even the smallest win into the headline-grabbing victory. And so Trump taking all of the credit for it seemed, if anything, narcissistic, and I can understand why people have an issue with Trump. So what is the takeaway of my video? For me, ambition and strategy can get you far, but they come with questions about ethics, impact, and legacy. Watching Trump: An American Dream shows that the line between success and exploitation is often razor thin. What would you ask Trump if you met him? Does he still hate the word ambition, or has he come to embrace it? What are his tips for somebody who doesn't have the advantages that he did? What would they do to raise capital? I believe that, having tenacity, having a willingness to put yourself out there, being fearless truly are parts of being successful. People always credit Trump for saying, oh, Trump took risk. He took risks, so he deserved these tax abatements because he was really taking a risk. But all that aside, risk aside, should we be giving the rich? And I want my viewers to ask, themselves this question. Do you believe that the rich deserve tax abatements, all of the incentives that they get, considering they already have all the loopholes of our IRS and our tax system in order to put themselves in an advantage, right? And they have access. They have access to the best lawyers. The best tools are accessible to them in order to be successful. So do they deserve to pay their fair share of taxes? Because Trump, certainly in this first episode, it showed that he really got away with quite a lot. And had it not been for all of the breaks that he got, I don't think we would have the Trump that we have today. We would not have Donald Trump, the billionaire that we have today. But you guys tell me what you think. Have a great day and think for yourself.